Pacific Time, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio. That's right, not only Saturday afternoon, but also early on Saturday and Sunday mornings. So remember, join us for the polka party every weekend, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
We've got the blues on the run.
Everybody's talking at me.
Chuck Wilder here, my guest Rob Sanchez, and I've been listening to the caller from Indianapolis, Carl, making some comments. And Rob, I'll let you respond now and see if you wanted to add anything to what he said. Or
yes, I do. And Carl made some very good points that Byrd did support John Kennedy's campaign. And what's even more recent is we've got to remember Byrd was very supportive of the Obama campaign, and I would say Byrd's contribution to the campaign is a major reason that Obama got voted in the first place. So the very fact that Obama would fail to mention Byrd in that immigration speech when Byrd is a pivotal figure on the immigration issue, that shows me how fast Obama's willing to throw friends under the bus. And
Yes.
Another piece of trivia, and this is something that I just recently became aware of, and it's pretty stunning. Back in 1963, John Kennedy actually gave Robert Byrd an honorary Doctor of Law degree at American University, the same place where Obama gave a speech on immigration. So when you look at all of those factors, you'd have to think there's not much good reason for Obama to fail to mention Byrd, except for the fact that Byrd never supported amnesty. He never supported guest worker programs like H-1B and green cards. And he certainly didn't support comprehensive immigration control.
Well, let me ask you, Rob, do you know, did the president make any plans to go to the funeral? As far as I know, he's just meeting with Netanyahu. I hadn't seen anything on the news about him going.
Well, let's see. On Friday, Obama did go to Virginia, where they were giving eulogies to Byrd. So he did do that, and he said he was going to go to the funeral today, but I have yet to confirm whether he actually did.
Now then, Carl, did you have a final comment that you wanted to...
I just want to comment that, this is kind of shocking, really, that there hasn't been, this Byrd's death wasn't used to reach out to, those poor gun-clinging religious folks, the majority of Democrats who didn't vote for Obama in the primary. Obama, Hillary got overall more votes if you look past the bogus caucuses. But, I think the Democrats have a strategy for getting Obama reelected, and I think it is that they don't, the mass media that's linked to the mainstream media will help pick a Republican candidate who is not really viable, who is open borders, a cheap labor Republican, who knows, they may get Mitch Daniels in here from Indiana. And if that causes a big sector of America to pick a third-party candidate who will talk about immigration, the media will paint that third-party candidate as, unelectable, and Obama thinks, well, gee, that third-party candidate will eat much more into the Republican base than the Democratic base, and that way Obama can sneak back in. So I'm just putting that out there to something to think about.
Well, we appreciate the call, and thank you very much, and give us a call again. Well, Rob, I'll tell you, excellent article you did here. You had a couple of them, actually, that you filed, and I just wanted, before we move on to something else here, that you have a list here, and you say the list is far from complete, but Byrd served in the Senate 51 years after serving 6 years in the House. Nobody else in U.S. history has served Congress for such a long time. Democratic Majority Leader twice. President pro tem of the Senate. He cast more than 18,000 votes in the Senate, and as you mentioned, supported Obama's presidential campaign, supported unemployment insurance, supported the national holiday for Martin Luther King, and here's the one. He was an excellent bluegrass fiddle player. There you go.
Now maybe that's why Obama didn't like him. because maybe Obama's not into bluegrass music.
There you go.
But Bert does. He did play a mean fiddle, and you can go on YouTube and just search Robert Byrd, and you'd be surprised how many of his old songs are on there.
Really?
And he did record records. And at one time, I guess, was a pretty good album seller.
Well, you've got a lot of list here of different votes that he cast and what they were all about, and very interesting stuff. And in a moment, I'm going to get into this unemployment insurance if we have time, because
that's very important to talk about.
Yeah, but first off, because the listeners are, they're baited on this one. They got to hear what in the world are you talking about? Milwaukee debating the Arizona boycott, but they're confused where the border is. Let's spend a moment on that. This is the Milwaukee County Board.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, the Milwaukee Board of Supervisors had a debate on whether they were going to boycott Arizona because of our so-called onerous immigration law, SB 1070. So they spent a good deal of their time debating back and forth on what they're going to do about Arizona. Now, keep in mind, Milwaukee's falling apart. They're bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
They've got towering amounts of debt and all sorts of social issues. But instead of talking about Milwaukee's problems, they were talking about Arizona's problems and trying to tell Arizona how we were to run our state.
And by the way, in your article, it's a $45 million budget deficit that they're facing. Go ahead.
Yeah, but somehow they have time to talk about Arizona. And what everybody's talking about is one supervisor, her name is Peggy West.
Mm-hmm.
She started ranting and raving about how awful Arizona's immigration bill is. And, in typical liberal fashion, we've heard all the things. She was especially griping about police profiling Latinos, and, we've heard it all. I think the high point of her speech was where she said that Arizona really shouldn't be writing